Bernie Sanders is pushing President Biden to increase Social Security benefits, and he also wants that $200 per month stimulus approved as well. Let's discuss the details in this video, but before we do, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I'd also like to thank my sponsor, Webull. They've partnered with me to provide free stocks for my viewers, valued up to $1,800. It's completely free, and feel free to sell the stocks immediately to use the money if you'd like. All you have to do is open an account using the link that's in the description of this video. So as I've detailed in many of my videos, Democrats are now expected to approve 2 more stimulus packages by the end of 2021. And at the same time, President Biden promised on the campaign trail to improve Social Security, as well as approve that $200 per month stimulus boost for those who are on Social Security as well. So we're hoping that these initiatives will be included in either this first infrastructure bill or that second stimulus package by the end of 2021. Now, a lot of this will come down to taxes. Will President Biden be able to increase taxes on the rich and increase taxes on corporations enough to be able to fund these projects? Now, he plans to do so, but he is getting some pushback from moderate Democrats like Joe Manchin. At the same time, we have liberals like Bernie Sanders pushing to increase taxes on the rich even more to further fund Social Security benefits. So let's watch a quick video on Bernie Sanders giving us his opinion on President Biden's plan to increase taxes, whether or not it's enough. Then we're going to discuss the differences between Bernie Sanders' plan and President Biden's plan to increase Social Security payments.
President Biden's plan includes a proposed corporate tax rate increase that's half the increase of what you've called for. It does not include a new tax on wealth, which you also support. And although it does contain measures to combat climate change, it is a fraction of the size of the Green New Deal. Now, Biden calls the plan bold, but it clearly doesn't go as far as a President Sanders plan would have. Is this plan bold enough for you?
Well, I think it's a serious proposal dealing with some of the serious crises that we face. I think every American understands that our infrastructure, our roads and our bridges, water systems, wastewater plants are falling apart, and we can create millions of jobs rebuilding them. I think the vast majority of the American people understand that climate change is an existential threat to the planet. We can create millions more jobs at good wages, rebuilding, transforming our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energy. I think also most Americans know that we have a major housing crisis, and that's not only 500,000 people who are homeless today. It is 19 million households that are spending 50% of their limited incomes on housing. All of those issues are dealt with in the president's plan. What you're going to see right now, Jake, is that Congress is going to take a hard look at that plan. I think that, for example, as you indicated in terms of climate, we're probably going to want to put more money into that area. I think there's a lot of work that has to be done in terms of health care, the high cost of prescription drugs, making our colleges affordable for young people and dealing with student debt. So right now, I think in an unprecedented moment, the president has given us a serious proposal. A lot more work has to be done in that regard.
So do you think that things that one could argue are important but not necessarily part of an infrastructure package, such as dealing with college debt, you think that that should be part of the bill?
Well, you know, it depends on what you call infrastructure. Roads and bridges and tunnels are infrastructure. But I think many of us see a crisis in human infrastructure. When a working class family can't find good quality, affordable child care, that's human infrastructure. One of the areas that I am working on right now is the need to expand Medicare in order to provide dental care and hearing aids and eyeglasses for millions and millions of seniors who need these services but can't afford it. Is that infrastructure? I think it is. Look, Jake, the truth is, in so many ways, we are behind many other countries throughout the world in providing for working families and the elderly and the children. And I think now is the time to begin addressing our physical infrastructure and our human infrastructure. And I want to see that happen as soon as possible.
I love the fact that Bernie Sanders mentioned taking care of the elderly. He brought up the fact that we need to reform Medicare and increase Medicare benefits to include dental care, hearing aids, and things of that nature, which are a huge burden on our retirees. And they were discussing the fact that President Biden's current stimulus package, that infrastructure bill, continues to develop, and they continue to decide exactly what's going to be included. We still have a chance that Social Security benefit reform will be included in that package, and they continue to discuss exactly how much to increase taxes. Again, we need to increase taxes in order to reform and increase Social Security payments. Not only are we hoping to see Social Security reform, we're also hoping to get that $200 per month stimulus boost, which President Biden promised on his campaign trail. Remember, he promised to approve this monthly boost for those who are on Social Security until the end of the pandemic. Bernie Sanders supported this as well as Chuck Schumer, who is now the Senate Majority Leader. So as this infrastructure bill continues to develop and Democrats continue to say that initiatives like this do fall into the quote-unquote human infrastructure category, we're hoping that they will still include this monthly boost, but at the very least, we're hoping to have Social Security payments increased in general. Now, of course, Bernie Sanders has his own plan to increase Social Security benefits, so let's take a look at his plan, and then we're going to compare that to President Biden's plan. And there is a very good chance that President Biden will reform Social Security benefits. So some of the key points in these proposals could actually end up coming to fruition. If we take a look at Bernie Sanders' website, he says that Americans have the right to a secure retirement. Today, we tell our senior citizens that we understand that you cannot live in dignity when you are trying to survive on $13,000 or $14,000 a year in Social Security benefits. My Republican colleagues want to cut Social Security, but we have some bad news for them. We're not going to cut Social Security benefits, we're going to expand them. Now, some key points of Bernie Sanders' proposal is to expand Social Security benefits for all recipients and at the same time protect pensions, guarantee home and community-based long-term care services, and protect our most vulnerable seniors by quadrupling the funding for the Older Americans Act. Now, as far as healthcare, he wants to expand Medicare, a very aggressive plan of actually making Medicare for all, essentially universal healthcare, which would also include dental care, hearing aids, and routine vision exams, as well as podiatry. This, of course, is a lot more aggressive than President Biden's plan. Biden wants to fund Medicare to make drug costs more affordable, but of course does not want to create Medicare for all. A kind of middle ground is a proposal where Medicare goes down to age 60. This would benefit a lot of retirees because those of you who take Social Security at age 62 are stuck in a very difficult situation where you're getting Social Security benefits, but you still don't qualify for Medicare until age 65. So lowering that age restriction to 60 would help millions of retired Americans receive the health care that they need and that they deserve. But as of now, Bernie Sanders is still pushing for a Medicare for all system. Of course, he also wants to cut drug prices and limit the amount of money that any American spends on medications per year to $200. Now, in regards to Social Security benefits specifically, first of all, in order to make sure that Social Security remains funded, he wants to increase taxes on those who make $250,000 per year or more. Currently, if you make over $140,000 per year, you no longer pay into the Social Security system. He wants to change this, similar to President Biden's plan, although President Biden wants to do this for those who make over $400,000 per year. So a similar plan, but Bernie Sanders' plan is a lot more aggressive, and this would ensure that the program remains well funded for the next 52 years, a lot more aggressive than President Biden's plan. Secondly, he wants to expand benefits across the board by $1,300 per year for anybody who makes $16,000 a year or less. This is a lot more aggressive than President Biden's plan. President Biden wants to create a minimum monthly benefit of 125% of the poverty level. Bernie Sanders' plan would essentially make it about 135% of the poverty level. So a lot more aggressive, larger payments than President Biden wants to approve. At the same time, Bernie Sanders does want to also include a minimum monthly benefit to ensure that nobody on Social Security is forced to live in poverty. And fourthly, he wants to change the formula that's used to calculate COLA by taking into account the expenses that the elderly are faced with, mainly healthcare costs and housing costs. This is similar to what President Biden wants to do as well. Now, there are a lot of proposals out there for Social Security, including some from Republicans, and President Biden wants to work with Republicans in general. He's constantly saying that he wants to work on a bipartisan level to get things done, but there are some things being proposed by Republicans that Bernie Sanders absolutely is not willing to do. The most important of which is raising the full retirement age. Now, currently, for the majority of you, the full retirement age is 67. Now, the majority of Republicans want to raise this to 70. Now, Bernie Sanders considers this a complete deal breaker and is not willing to do this. This would cut benefits for millions of Americans. Not only would it force you to wait until age 70 to get your full benefits, if you decided to retire at age 62, you would be penalized even harder than you are now, because at that point you would be retiring 8 years early instead of 5, if that kind of makes sense. Millions of people would have their benefits cut. Another thing that Bernie Sanders is not willing to do is privatizing Social Security. This is the idea that basically takes a chunk of your Social Security benefits and puts it into the stock market, similar to a 401k. Now, Republicans say the stock market has a better return than Social Security generally gets. This might be true, but at the same time, it provides a lot more risk, and your benefits could actually plummet, similar to a 401k. This is something Bernie is not willing to do. He wants Social Security benefits to be 100% completely guaranteed, even if the returns are not as high as the stock market might be. Bernie Sanders also is refusing to increase taxes on Social Security benefits. Now, the majority of you watching this video probably already pay zero taxes on your benefits, but as your income goes up, you begin to pay taxes on those benefits. Between 0 and 85% of your benefits can be taxed, and many Republicans have pushed to have 50% of your benefits taxed, even for those who make low income. This is a deal breaker for Bernie, and he is not willing to do this. Now, let's quickly take a look at President Biden's plan for Social Security and compare that to Bernie Sanders. Now, similar to Bernie, he wants to increase taxes on the rich in order to fund these payments, but he only wants to do it for those who make over $400,000 per year. Bernie wants to do it on those who make $250,000 per year or more. He does want to create that minimum monthly benefit, which would pay you at least 125% of the poverty level, ensuring that those who are retired are never forced to live in poverty. He also wants to increase benefits even more for those who have been on Social Security for 20 years or more, giving them a 5% monthly increase, because these are the people who have even more medical bills and they need this monthly increase just to cover those expenses. Now, one thing that Biden specifically wanted to include that Bernie did not mention is widows. Biden wants to increase, on average, payments for widows by 20%. This would help to somewhat offset the fact that now they only have one monthly benefit instead of two because their spouse has passed away. Now, as far as COLA changes, this is basically the same as Bernie Sanders. Biden wants to increase that COLA payment by changing the formula that's used and including expenses that elderly are faced with that the majority of people are not. So as you can see, these proposals are very similar. On the one hand, President Biden is doing a little bit of a better job of taking care of widows, but Bernie Sanders wants to increase payments for the majority of people by $1,300 per year. That is a lot more aggressive than what President Biden wants to do. Bernie Sanders' plan would help those who are low income a lot more than President Biden's plan would. Now, of course, the main hurdle here is getting moderate Democrats on board to get this done, because Democrats have to get this done with 0 Republican votes, because they are most likely going to have to use budget reconciliation to get this done. The great news is we do expect to have 2 more stimulus packages this year, this infrastructure package as well as one later in the year after that. And just a quick note, all of the details of the infrastructure package still have not been released. We expect to have the full details by the end of April, and again, we're hoping that will include Social Security benefits. This would fall into the category of human infrastructure, which is a major initiative that President Biden wants to get done. So with that said, we should have a lot of updates in the next few weeks regarding Social Security benefits reform, regarding that $200 per month stimulus boost, and regarding the next 2 stimulus packages that we expect to have by the end of the year. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to get more updates, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share this channel with anybody who you think might find this helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next video, take care and have a great day.